Well, I was hoping to be able to say good morning, but I cannot. It is 12:01 p.m. So, hello everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. This is being broadcast live on New Light Streaming Love, 12:01 Eastern. I have one viewer who's always asking, "Is this live?" And so, yes, this one is live. If you are watching it now, it will be uploaded later to Sassy Seer Sheila. So I'm streaming live on New Light Streaming Love right now. Let me pull us up over here on New Light so I can see the comments. And later it will be uploaded to Sassy Seer Sheila. Now, I will say this too. I really have wanted, and I keep, and sharing that I'm going to, and I haven't been able to make it to the evening time and a live intuitive hangout session, but I'm gonna today. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be on Sassy Seer Sheila. So if you are watching this live or even later after the live is over on New Light Streaming Love, and you want to participate in the live intuitive hangout session, which is where I pull cards for those who desire me to pull cards. That's going to happen on my standalone channel, Sassy Seer Sheila, which is again why I recommend that if you want to keep up with me, to be subscribed in both places. Just to be very clear, New Light Streaming Love is a collaborative channel between myself, Crystal Hempill, Journey Into It, also known as Journey Into It, and Lisa Flamino Rush. Now, I've really been the only one at this moment that has been coming and doing anything, of late, but that does not mean that they won't. And I'm hit or miss at best, as you can tell. Honestly, I really don't know how anybody's keeping up with anything in these moments of now because, well, I'm a little bit older. And so maybe that's it. But the energetics have been really all over the map. For me personally, I'm very sensitive to what goes on the sun. And okay, wait a minute. What in the world is that? Am I still live? Yes, it would look like. All of a sudden, Zoom popped up in front of the camera here, and it sort of freaked me out a little. It looks like I'm live, so I guess I'm going to keep going. At any rate, yeah, now I can, boy, there is such a delay. At any rate, you just never know. Right now, I'm showing up as I feel nudged to. I did record something this morning. I highly recommend y'all take a listen to. My sister, Teresa Blackburn, she put something out on Facebook that I knew immediately upon reading it that I was to record it and share it. It's just a real quick, some thoughts that she had come in this morning directly from source, if you ask me, and absolutely beautiful and profound. So I highly recommend you take a listen to that. And let's see. So far this morning, the fairies gave us two cards, the Oakman and the Lamb. Very interesting. Card number 47 and card number 30. I want to do this one next, I think. So part of what I've been feeling and why I, again, come when I feel moved to and participate here when I feel moved to. Well, because again, I feel like if we move towards that which brings us joy in each moment that presents itself and keep our eyes and ears sharp for answers to questions that we have for ourselves, therein lie our purpose. Um, this is interesting this morning. Surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to, quote, make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. And honestly, that quote there of making things happen, that is for me, I've come to recognize that as a programmed thought. I'm gonna make it happen. Um, which would suggest that, by hook or by crook, I'm gonna force this to happen. And maybe this, whatever it is I think I want, isn't the best thing or isn't even what makes my heart sing, right? So, which is why I think I've adopted that, following what brings one joy in each moment and not being attached to what it looks like, but knowing what it feels like when it presents itself. Because for me personally, I've most of my life been given the message that you got to do this and you got to do that. And in order to make things happen, you got to do this and you got to do that. Wow. That that's very interesting. This card just came out and it was in the one of the last readings that we had from the emotional card, but I'm feeling to do another. This one? Yep. Oh my. Sky Rainbow Star. Look at that. That's beautiful. There's so much that I have found within myself that has been programmed and conditioned into me, us, all of us, uh, that really has no bearing, especially in this new energy. You know, um, if you're trying to produce a bunch of consumer driven slaves, then yes, you have to make things happen because he who dies with the most toys wins, so to speak. No, nobody on their deathbed ever said, I wish I had more. I don't know. There's at least not for me. Let's just put it that way. There is more, yes, to be had. Not consumer wise, though. There's a lot of things consumer wise that I've gotten that just made me miserable afterwards. I don't know. There's a lot in that, I think. Ooh, the choice. And my sister's words this morning was all about choices as well, too, right? This entire physical experience, really, is about choices in many ways. And nothing is wrong. There is no wrong choice. It's just, what I have I have adjudged things wrong uh, in the moment as they've happened, or bad or horrific, and then see later that it's not that way. So, I feel like the overall message so far from what I'm seeing here has to do with choice, yes. How we are willing to see things. I happen to know that the Oakman is all about how we perceive things, right? Let's see what the dream. Attune to the call. Tune in and turn on. I love the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. Okay, let's see. Who wants to be first? The Oakmen are really screaming they want to be first. So we'll start with the fairies. Card number 47. Numerologically, that is an 11. So that is absolutely a master number. And the key words for this card are, strength, ancient wisdom, depth. I had an interesting lesson from the Oakmen about how we humans use fairies to mirror our own projections. The eyes of the Oakmen are a warm, light brown, but some people look at them and say, ooh, red eyes, scary. I tried a little experiment using digital magic. I made a copy of the Oakmen and gave them blue eyes. I then asked some people for their impressions of the Oakmen, and words like innocent and sweet and melancholy came back. Then I changed them to an unreal looking violet and got responses like, oh, so spiritual, so wise. Had the Oakmen changed? Of course not. But what people projected onto them had. When we look at a fairy, we can simply project all of our fears and insecurities and prejudices and delusions onto them. Or we can try to see them as they are. And I think we do that with each other quite a bit. In a sense, all oracles are simply mirrors of the wisdom and confusion within the reader. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. But if we only look at them through our personal filters and projection, we learn very little. It is only when we actually try to see beyond ourselves that we begin to use the oracle as a mirror of the cosmos and all of its wisdom. One member of the oracle group looked at them and wrote, "When I see this card, I lose all track of time. I feel deep grounding and peace, contentment. Everything is there if you just take the time to be a part of it. It is a deep homecoming for me. To me, the Oakmen show the deep wisdom of age, the inner peace and strength of the elders. This is what the Oakmen are about. Can you look at them and see them as they are? Or can you only see your own projections? The universe, like the Oakmen, is full of wisdom and compassion and strength, but it doesn't always come in pretty packages. This card depicts the strength and wisdom of age. It also reminds us that what we need to know, what is truly there to be seen, cannot be discovered by a superficial glance and a hasty reaction. In a reading, the Oakmen tell us to look slowly and deeply into the heart of the matter and to see past the superficialities on the surface. Consider the history of the situation in depth and learn from the past. Consult others with more experience than you have. Learn from the wisdom of the elders, both those available to you personally and those you encounter in books and elsewhere. In this matter, it would be wise to make your decisions after more pondering and study of the situation. I know for myself, because I just had this happen the other day again, it's very easy to ascribe what I take as common sense to others. Something that seems as plain as the nose on one's face to me may escape another's complete attention. And so for me to wander around and just simply assume that everyone thinks like I do myself and everyone else a huge disservice by doing that. By not looking deeper, by not considering more than just what I think I know about a situation, or it doesn't really even matter. Whatever it is, I cannot ascribe that same level of knowing to anyone else. And I've done that a lot in my life. And I am still working with that and constantly catching myself at, oh, wait a minute. I assumed because I said those words that it was heard and it was understood. And no, it wasn't. And so that's what this is saying to me. It's reminding me. It also suggests that we might learn a lot from trees. Consider the trees and their wisdom. Connect with a wise old one and ask for help. Well, I love that idea because trees are very wise and they will communicate with you if you pay attention. At least that has been my experience. Focus and attention has really come back into my field of late for me, which is what these cards represent for me, is a method of focusing my attention in a way that I will listen to my inner voice. And honestly, I view any and all forms of divination as that. Just a method of focus and attention. And sometimes different methods work for different people in different ways, right? So the next card that came out from the fairies was the Laum. And the key words for this card are unconditional giving, unconditional receiving. She is the Laum, in the same way that the McGregor is the chief of the clan McGregor, the Laum of all Laums. The Laum is a charitable soul in the old sense of the word charity, which is loving and giving. She knows the joy of giving without expectation. Oh, surrender our attachment to results, eh? Very interesting. That comes into play there. She knows the joy of giving without expectation of return. From practicing this ourselves, we learn that there always is a return, often from the least expected source. The universe likes to keep its accounts up to date, and the Lamb's job is to encourage us to keep the credit side of our cosmic accounts balanced by freely giving, which is something I highly recommend, something I've always done. I personally, as I've never called myself a light worker, I have actually called myself more of a dark worker than anything else. But as such, as a beyond quantum healer practitioner, as a tarot reader, uh, as someone who has exposed themselves to all kinds of different ways of finding out the truth of who I am, I don't charge for anything I do, because I personally feel like just this reason here, the universe will take care of me and has so far in a beautiful, beautiful way. And I won't change that in any way, shape, or form. We have been given the earth, the sun, the stars, and the moon. We've been given trees and flowers and things to eat and a multitude of prospective friends. It's going to take a considerable amount of generosity to come into balance with all those gifts we have already received. When we fall out of balance in what we give and what we receive, we can have constipation or diarrhea of the spirit. Spiritual constipation makes us toxic and bloated and unable to deal with more intake. Spiritual diarrhea makes us energetically depleted, limp, and needy. The spiritual forms of these particular malfunctions are entirely a result of our choices about balancing our giving and receiving. You may think you have it right, but if things are not going well for you, the Lamb suggests that you think again. If you are pushing and pushing at something, that I'm going to make it happen, right? It can often help greatly just to back off, relax about it, and let the energy flow. If at the same time that you back up from your efforts, you put energy into the universe elsewhere, then energy just naturally has to flow back to you in the form of appropriate and generous. Elsewhere, then the energy just naturally has to flow back to you in the most appropriate and generous form. The universe also has to keep its accounts balanced. Studying the Lamb's picture, a discussion group member wrote, "The Lamb is still bugging me. She looks passive but watchful. I think she feels that this giving business needs a bit more explanation. It is about being ready to do that sometimes quite small thing just when it is needed. A pinch of fairy dust in just the right place at just the right time works wonders. But big clouds of fairy dust just makes everyone sneeze." This is true. Sometimes a small bit of helpfulness now prevents a big need later. And sometimes a big thing is needed right from the beginning. Another oracle reader noted that the lamb's wings looked a bit tattered and wondered if this was indicative, if this indicated that it is sometimes appropriate to give until it hurts. Yes, it is, the lamb says, not as a habit, not as a sort of martyrdom, but only on the rare occasions when it is truly needed. One of the lamb's charming customs is to give through whatever pair of hands is nearest, providing they allow her to do so. Do you let the lamb give through your hands, or do you put them in your pockets and hold back, holding on to what's yours? If so, you're missing a lot of fun, some interesting experiences, and some spiritual growth. If you are stuck or blocked in a situation and the lamb turns up in a reading, you probably need to stop focusing on what you are trying to accomplish and simply give to others freely and generously and unconditionally. Try a few random acts of kindness, unconditionally given, of course. Go do some volunteer work somewhere, mow your elderly neighbor's lawn, or take some homemade soup or some flowers from your garden to someone you know who is ill. Give some help to a coworker just because they need it. Give to a needy stranger, whether or not you think he deserves it. Take flowers into a hospital and give them to a stranger at random. Or give them to a nurse with compliments from the universe. Give a bit more than you think you can afford. Go a little bit further than you think you reasonably can. Empty your wallet or purse of all your cash for a beggar on the street. Don't worry, it will fill up again much faster than you might expect. Wow. Well, I see how that is in direct agreement with surrender the attachment to results there. So let's see who wants to go next. I think attuned to the call from the hero's journey. Yes, because the lamb has there's something specific trying to be shown here. I don't know exactly what. That one is card number 10. Attune to the call. Tune in and turn on. I'd been having dreams lately, drunken dreams with their peculiar lucidity in which the experience trail, the high seas, seemed to call louder and louder, more and more insistently, with a voice that was the same. At the same time, music, a siren's song that almost threatened me if I refused to obey its quixotic urgings. That's a quote from Saul Luckman. The message of this card: you are attuned to the sounds of your soul, and what was once a still small voice has become the loudest call you hear. You are mustering the courage to heed the call when it resonates throughout your entire body, and the situation or opportunity is right for you. Foster gratitude as you do your inner work, so the sweet sound of higher ground resounds throughout your being. Make room in your life for grace, so the call of your highest destiny can be heard, honored, and acted upon. Wow. There's a dream symbol here for a phone call. It says dreams of a cell phone or talking on a phone signify communication issues. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mercury has either just gone direct again or is about to. And my planetary ruler, Venus, has either just gone or is about to. So that's very interesting to me that this talks about that. Receiving a call is about your ability to listen and hear. If you are trying to call someone and can't reach them, considering what is in the way will bring you a step closer to resolving the block because you are now aware of it. If you are successful in your connection, either speaking to or texting someone, you may be exploring your telepathic connection with this individual and or the part of yourself, the, the part of yourself the caller represents. Additionally, explore the wordplay between cell phone and self own. That's very interesting since my sister's words this morning were all about sovereignty and freedom and responsibility. This dream might be a message to own your power in new and more profound ways. Yes, because she also said that you've had the power all along. We always have had the power all along. We've been convinced that we don't. So attune to the call. Oh, I love that. Okay. And kind of interesting that I've decided that no matter what, I want to do a live intuitive hangout session today. Okay. So I think we're going to do the journey of love next, which is the choice. Card number 62, which is an 8 numerologically. For me, that's all about not just manifestation, but materialization. And it is called the choice. There is a choice that you need to make. You are aware of it already, or it is coming to your awareness soon. Yes, I am aware. Embrace the unknown and say yes. You have the opportunity to enrich your world, to receive, and therefore be able to share much more. If anxiety or fear arises, guilt or shame, treat it as the cleansing of your emotional waters. Oh, interesting, since the emotional card came out as well. As they receive so much more inflow from the divine ocean. Let the old layers rise to the surface of your awareness to be washed away. What seems to be so much in the context of your own emotional waters is not so much at all when compared to what the great ocean is capable of holding. So let the divine ocean take the old, washing it away from you and replenishing you with the new. Replenishing you with the new that may serve life all the better. This oracle brings you guidance. It is safe to choose now. There is no wrong choice, just a choice that resonates with your heart. If it is challenging you, that is an opportunity for you to let the divine cleanse and lift you into the vibration where you feel at peace with your choice, where you can accept the grace it will bring to you. Do this now. It is your time to step up, make your life easier on yourself, and open to love in a more trusting way. Come now. The divine is calling you to play. Our lives are measured in choices we have made along the path we call living. Each step an opportunity. Seemingly random. Each decision moves us inexorably in a direction both unknown and yet somehow familiar. For upon reflection, the strength we find in choosing or the surrender of letting all unfold leads us to the place we started from when we made that first choice to be here again. Well, that really is very interesting given that I really do feel like we we choose first of all to come here, and we also choose to whom we're going to be born, in the idea of, you know, what sort of experiences we want to have, whether or not uh, those parents are in the position to fulfill that for us or not. Mm. So the emotional card came out first, and I'm going to read that one first. It is on page 85. No, it's on page 108. When the emotional pillar shows up in your spread, the spirits are asking you to delve inward and to connect with your innermost feeling state. This pillar is about feelings, creativity, intimacy, and connection. Okay, that's interesting. The emotional pillar is a very feminine card, not because women are the only ones who have feelings, because that's ridiculous, but because feeling itself is a feminine energetic. So much of our Western culture is about doing and achieving and making, oh my gosh, and about making shit happen. You can't make this up, man, because that's exactly what the rest of this reading has been about. Hey, and that's fine and wonderful as long as it's bringing us joy. But so often we find ourselves busy doing, achieving, and making shit happen that we forgot to tap into our feeling nature until something pushes us too far or pisses us off and we explode in rage or tears or feeling overwhelmed or what have you. And boy, isn't that the truth? I mean, really, honestly. The emotional pillar is the spirit's way of nudging you into a deeper relationship with your feeling state. Take a bath, go for a swim, be in nature, do some journaling, have a cry or an orgasm or a dance party, shake, drum, journal, sketch, be in your creativity, be in your sensuality. Wow. Okay. I love that. Hmm. I think today, once this is done, once I'm finished here, I think I may go out somewhere and get into some kind of other kind of creative state. So, sky, rainbow, storm. No, star. Sky, rainbow, star. Page 75. Sky, rainbow, star. This is a beautiful card. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Life on this beautiful planet is an ever unfolding, constantly shifting, multidimensional journey. As a quantum creator, you, my dear, are designing your own journey for yourself. Allow yourself to perceive beyond limitations and ideas of linear time and peer into greater, more expanded realms of possibility that emerge from your dynamic expression. The more you can allow the many different facets of your being to express, the more potentialities you create for yourself. This means that instead of examining your life one dimensionally and seeing only one pathway for yourself, you allow yourself to see through a quantum lens, thereby manifesting many pathways and many possibilities. Living from your multidimensional expression opens up doorways that lead to magic and joy and abundance beyond your wildest, most amazing dreams. Well, there's a lot in that. And I've heard this a lot. Okay, so my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush, has talked about for a long time now that her team shared with her that we, the Christed being, knew who he was on all 12 dimensions of self, meaning that each one of us here has 12 other dimensional portions of us. And just the other day, I happened to walk out there and heard her playing, I don't know, it was maybe a TikTok or some kind of video where there's folks that are playing with AI, and this AI was talking about actually the same thing. The very fact that there are 12, and this is our multidimensionality. Wow, there's a lot in that. I got more coming in on that. I can't exactly share. Boy, it's getting warm in this room. Okay, so that's it. That's all the reading that I have here. But wow, it felt like a huge reading today. I hope that this was helpful for you. And if you want to participate, which I don't know if this is going to, it looks like it's live, but no, absolutely no one showed up. So we'll see. If you want to participate, come to the live Intuitive Hangout session over on my other channel, Sassy or Sheila. And I still don't like to give out any kind of timing or anything because I don't want to be tied to anything. But that is my plan as long as the energy holds. I do feel pretty good today, so we'll see. Until next time, I hope that you will continue to move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It is just a matter of your perspective and the perception of the perspective you're holding in that moment. Until we meet again, be well, my friends.